start with like, what's it like? Because you guys are the new kids on the block.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's pretty similar to what Shelley said. I mean, I'll work with the writers, you know, Jason Aaron on Star Wars, Kieran Gillen on Vader, all the different people, Mark Waid on Princess Leia, Greg Weissman on Canon, and we'll talk about story, and then we'll consult with either Jen or Frank there, and they'll pass it along to the story group who will give us notes. We have had the opportunity to go and meet with the story group a couple times, with Jason and Kieran specifically, since they're doing this ongoing series of Star Wars and Vader, telling longer stories. We wanted to, you know, make sure we were all on the same page on that, and it's been great. We'll come up with some pretty off-the-wall ideas, and most of the time they kind of get through, so it's good.
And you mentioned the comic Canon.
Yeah.
I mean, that was done by Greg Weissman, who also worked on season 1 of Rebels.
Right.
So that was like...
That and A New Dawn are a perfect example of how this can all work collaboratively when we're all on the same page. And we're genuinely telling the backstories of the characters you see on screen and understand that this is what their psyche is, this is what their history is.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, Star Wars, Vader, and Princess Leia were all ideas we said, well, here's what we think we should launch with. And I think Canon was the first book that you guys said to us, hey, this is actually a good place to explore something. Would you guys like to do a story about Kanan's backstory? And we said, absolutely. If you haven't checked it out, it's pretty great. It gets to tell the story of what happened to him when Order 66 went down, which was just kind of hinted at in the series of Rebels, and we get to actually show you what happened. So it's great.
You know, with Marvel, we have a long continuity in history ourselves. You know, 75 years. We celebrated last year, so you know, in working with the story group and with Lucasfilm, we understand it because we've done it with people who have licensed the Marvel characters in the past. You know, we know what we can do, what we can't do, and what the limits are when they give us certain requests and things that they would like changed. We have an understanding that, you know, we would ask the same things of people who do our characters. But we still want Jax the Rabbit back.
What's amazing is 75 years of Marvel Comics and we've never contradicted ourselves once in all.
Actually, I wanted to just kind of add on to something that Jordan said, just because I know it's a question I've gotten a lot anyway about where the story ideas kind of get generated from, and it's, you know, it definitely comes from both sides. There are times where, you know, a certain author or, you know, people from the publisher will come to us and say, oh, we have this great book idea, we want to write about this, what do you think? But then, you know, there are other occasions where, because the story group does have this sort of, you know, more macro view than the rest of us do, that they can say, hey, you know, would you be interested in telling this story? Because it's really good, and then maybe we could tie it to this. So it's definitely a two-way street as far as that goes.
What's also interesting is with a lot of new creatives coming on board on the cinematic side of things, you know, we're getting different levels of interest and excitement that they've never had the opportunity to work on before. So we'll have screenwriters and directors saying, wait, my characters can appear in a Marvel comic? They can appear in a novel? And they really embrace that opportunity. So it's an interesting shift in dynamics.
Oh, we are super excited for a time when characters that are first appear in Marvel Comics show up somewhere else. We can't wait. In fact, I was really hoping that we would see like a Dr. Aphra somewhere at the contact, but I haven't seen her yet, so maybe tomorrow we'll see.
2 more days, fans. 2 more days.
Another way, we'll open up to questions in a minute, but another way that everyone is working together here is on the programs against the films that are coming up. And one of the things we're doing is this Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens program in September, and that really is across all publishers. And it's a way to get everyone out here excited and start speculating about Force Awakens. There will be hints and clues and puzzle pieces in these books that we're not explaining. We're not going to tell you what it is. You guys are going to have to put 2 and 2 together yourselves and see if you come up with the right answer come December. And that's part of the fun of it. You know, we're doing something here with everyone on the stage that says, okay, what can we do in September to start getting everyone even more excited than they already are? And how can we reintroduce these characters to people who are new to the franchise and people who've been here, you know, since the very beginning? a lot of what we're doing on the Journey 2 side are original stories set between 4, 5, and 6, or stories that will tie in some way to 7. Again, I'm not going to tell you how. But that's really, really exciting and really, really new for all of us to do, and it's been, you know, a joy to work on because we've got the support of everyone from Kathy and JJ on down to say, no, this is cool, this is fun, let's get this out there, let's give something to you guys and to the new fans to say, hey, this is new Canon, and what does all of it mean? And again, we're not going to tell you those answers. That's up to you guys to try and, like I said, put two together. But it's something that we're doing both on for kids books, for the adult side, for comics. I believe you guys even had, right, Marvel, you guys announced this morning that Greg Rucka was writing or will be writing your Journey 2 title, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
so,
Greg Rucka doing Shattered Empire. It's going to be pretty
So we're not just getting into film and TV content, we're also doing, we can also have the potential to do publishing on video games as well, which we've historically done in the past. But I don't know if any of you were at the Battlefront panel. That's a right opportunity for storytelling. And so we're definitely gonna capitalize on that. And so we've got a Battlefront tie-in novel. It's called Battlefront Twilight Company. The sampler, about the sampler.
Inside the sampler, available.
If you check out our booth and come by our panel tomorrow, find out what's happening at Del Rey, you'll get the sampler and a little chapter from each book coming up. And I just wanted to say too that I don't know, we've always worked very closely with Lucasfilm. That hasn't changed that much. It's not like we ever went our separate ways. I've been working with Leland and Pablo certainly for years, and Jen when she came on, and I've been there forever, or so it seems, feels. But there's something different now. There is something, the level has gone up in our storytelling, in my opinion. I have not been this excited by our books. You know, not that I didn't always love them, but the new ones are just fantastic. And I'm reading a new manuscript right now, and I really actually rather be doing that. But the stories we're telling are so, can't even put my finger on it. Because like I said, we always tried to be within continuity and work with what was going on, but now they're just a level above. They're really, something is working with this new story approach and the new attitude of the all-one story that is bringing everything together so cohesively that it's making all the storytelling extra exciting.
Yeah, and it's kind of opening some doors, or at least opening doors more easily than it has in the past. You know, Battlefront is kind of a good example. I mean, you know, obviously we've always tried to do tie-in novels with games, but in the past it was more separated. You know, we would have to go to the people at LucasArts and say, hey, can we do this? And they don't really know about publishing, we don't really know about video games, and we'd kind of be trying to work it out. But now we have, you know, people in the story group who are kind of handling that overall look for us.
Because everything that Paul and I are doing for books, we're also doing for games.
Right.
So we are on board at the very beginning when we start working on games.
Yeah. So
and
just
it's
makes it
even then we can like start thinking about, you know, when we go into approving those games, we are definitely thinking, oh, what are the other storytelling possibilities?
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier to make everything fit together that way.
From a television standpoint, I mean, Leland and I basically sit down the hall from Dave Filoni and Henry Gilroy. We're working on Rebels, and that just affords us a connectivity that we aspired to at Clone Wars, but we didn't get into this kind of communication till the end of that series, and then we hit the ground running with Rebels.
I mean, we were in different buildings, just different facilities.
Different cities.
Different cities, yeah.
But now, you know, it's like, hey, let me ask Dave this.
Yeah, and Dave spends a lot of time in our office.
So what you're saying is it really is one big story, huh? All right, so listen, enough of us yakking. It's just, you know, several hundred of, you know, our closest friends here. Who has a question? Who wants to wow out of you? All right, there's a microphone in the center. That's probably the easiest way to go if you guys want to form a line in the middle. And,